Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to My Ascending Life. This is Sabrina, and unlike usual, we are in my bedroom. I thought it was time we sat down and we had a serious talk. This is my bed, and we're going to have a chat. There's something wrong with this world. That's a sentence that could go anywhere. We could be talking about anything. But what I want to talk about is something that I think is the root of more problems in this world than people imagine. And that is, we don't know how to love our kids. We don't know how to love our children. Our babies come into this world. Sometimes they're born because people want to fix their marriage. Sometimes they're born because people couldn't afford an abortion. Sometimes they're born under so many different circumstances. Sometimes they're even wanted. Sometimes parents want to love their kids, but we are failing our children miserably. And we have an enormous population of people walking around, grown adults. I'm talking 40, 50, 60, 90-year-old grown adults who have never been loved and never known how to love. And this is a problem. This is a problem when you're trying to have relationships and conversations and friendships and families and communities, and they're all made up of people who are wounded, people who are broken, people who are hurting, people like you and people like me. Nobody is loving their children, and most likely you were not loved as a baby, as a child. Most likely you weren't shown love in a way that would be natural for a parent to love and take care of their child. Our society is not set up in a way that values and respects children's needs and deep need for love, for touch, for relationship, for closeness with their parents. Children are stuck in a barred cage almost as soon as they pop out of their mother's womb. And they're put on a schedule. You can nurse at this time. You can have a dirty diaper at this time. And you can eat at this time. If you need anything else other than eating, sleeping, nursing, the basic things, I'm not wording this perfectly, but people don't see love as a need that a baby has. And the result of that, the implications of that, the kind of children and the kind of people walking around in this world as a result of that is inexcusable. And at some point we have to break the cycle, because chances are you're one of those people. I was one of those people, and I have worked very hard to learn how to love myself, because never could I love another person or my own child without first loving myself. You cannot love your family if you don't have some sort of healthy level of love for yourself. You don't have it to give. You're not doing it right. If you can't look in the mirror, look at your face as it is today, right now, and say, wow, I love you. I know all the good things you are, and I admire you. I see your beauty. I see who you are, and I see how much you try to do your very best every day of your life, and I am so proud of you. We need to be able to say that to ourselves and believe it, love it, appreciate it, mean it every single day. Until we get good at that, the love we're giving to other people is broken. They deserve better, but you deserved it first. You deserved it as a baby. You deserved it as an infant the second you were born from your mother's womb. You deserved to be held, to be cherished, for your every cry to be heard and valued, because it was a feeling, because you were expressing what you felt before you had words. You could communicate. Babies do communicate. They're not just empty screams that need to be ignored. Mothers need to listen to their babies and hear them. And you deserved to be heard the second you were born. You deserved to be valued. You deserved to be cared about. You deserved to be held as much as you needed, as much as you wanted, as much as you cried for. You deserved that care. And you deserve it today. If you weren't given that as a baby, you were failed. And I'm so sorry that that happened to you. The good news is you can hug yourself now. You can love yourself now. You can put yourself first now. And I'm giving you permission to do it because I have been there. I have been there as a wife and a mother who believed that if I put myself first, that I would be cheating my family, that I would be neglecting them, that I would be robbing them of the best of me, not realizing that I was giving them the worst of me by not taking care of me first. One day, it finally broke through and I took care of me. I took time from me. I gave myself permission to do it. I gave myself permission to inconvenience my family, to spend time figuring out how to work on me. I put myself in therapy, which is something I was always adamantly against and didn't believe could work, because I thought that I needed a therapist who loved me, who cared about me, who was emotionally invested in me, when what I really needed was to be emotionally invested in myself. I have a therapist who I don't need her love, but I need her to sit there and I need her to listen and I need her to hear my pain, because she is my vent, not my family. I don't put my pain on them anymore. What I went through is not their burden, and I don't ever want to put it on them. I want to fix it. I want to heal the hurt inside of me. So I go to a therapist and I spend that time venting. And I don't even really care what she says back to me, because that's not her role. That's not what I need. I just need to heal, and I need to talk to heal. I can't hold it all inside anymore. I can't pretend it's not there. I need to let it out. And so I let it out, and she listens, and she hears me. And every time I let it out, I heal a little more and a little more and a little more each time. What happened to me as a child was more extreme than what happens to the average person. I was severely abused. I was severely neglected. I was hurt in ways that are unspeakable. I wasn't a child who was wanted. I was a child who was born into a family because my parents should have divorced, and my mom got the bright idea that maybe if she had another baby, it would heal the marriage. So from before I was born, I had the obligation to heal my parents' marriage, and I failed. I failed miserably. I was a massive disappointment to my mother. She was just sure I was the ticket. And when I wasn't, she never let me forget it. She never loved me like she loved my brother, and she told me that. She flat out told me that. And my parents did go on to divorce, and my mother went on to marry my stepdad, who I wasn't allowed to call a stepdad. I had to call him Dad and Daddy because that was required. And he was an evil man. My mom went from a painful marriage to an evil one, where she watched her husband abuse her children every day, beat the crap out of us every day, hang me upside down by my ankle, and beat the shit out of me every day. She watched that. She walked away, and she hid in her bedroom so she didn't have to see it all the time. When it got too painful, she just shut the door so it wasn't in her face. But I know she heard my screams. I don't know, maybe she got earplugs, who knows. And when I got older, guess what? He decided it'd be fun to hit on his stepdaughter. And that turned into a whole line of other abuse, which I'm not going to air on YouTube because I have a therapist for that. But I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I want you to understand that I'm not talking down to you. I have pain. I have experienced pain in more ways than I will ever share on YouTube. But I chose not to relive it. I left my parents' home, and I was a very, very troubled teenager and young adult. And I was in so much pain. I went on to love a man who was very much like my stepfather, who mistreated me in so many ways also. And ultimately, I tried to take my own life multiple times. I failed over and over again. Nothing worked. I popped more pills than you can count in a bottle. I stole my friend's gun and laid with it on my pillow, just sure I was going to finally end it all, and I chickened out because I thought, I'm so damn lucky that I would be that person who blew her jaw off or something, or paralyzed herself somehow, but still I just knew my luck would be I'd still be mentally with it. And that's when I realized, well, that's not when I realized, I tried other attempts too, but eventually I realized that the pain was in my head. That's what you have to understand. The pain is not this world. The pain is not this life. The pain is in your head. That's the good news. Because you can talk yourself into depression. That's how you do it. That's how you get depressed. That's how you get suicidal, is you talk yourself into it. Your mental speech to yourself replicates what was said to you as a child, what was said to you as a baby, what was said to you as a 5-year-old, as a 10-year-old, as a 15-year-old. The worst of the worst things your parents ever said to you, that becomes your inner voice. That becomes what you say to yourself over and over and over again, like a broken record. When anything doesn't go your way, you say those things, and they hurt. They never stop hurting. They always hurt. And that is what gets you depressed. That is what gets you suicidal. That's what gets you ready to end it all. That's the good news. Because just like you can talk yourself into it, into depression, into misery, into suicidal thoughts, you can talk yourself out of it. I don't know, when you're in a place of suicide, it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to talk yourself out of it. But depression, you can definitely talk yourself out of. You can definitely change your thoughts, change your mind. Start by loving yourself. Start by admitting that you are a good person. Just admit it. You're not a bad person. Some idiot a long time ago told you you were, and you were naive for believing it. But you don't have to believe it now. You have to change your mind, and you have to make a decision today to think differently, to admit your value, admit your worth, admit that you are a good person, that you are doing the best you can with what you have today. And if that's not good enough for the world around you, then screw them. Screw them. That doesn't change who you are. What's happening around you and what other people think does not change who you are. If you're doing the best you can with what you have, admit that that makes you a pretty damn good person. Because there's some people out there intending to do bad. There's some people out there intending to do evil, intentionally hurting other people. You're not that person. If you're listening to me right now, you are not that person. You are good. You are worthy of love. And I insist that you admit it. So I ask you to please, at the end of this video, find a mirror, look in it, and for once in your life, admit that you are good. Admit that you are worthy of love, that, damn it, you deserve it. You deserve love. And you cannot wait your whole damn life waiting for someone else to give it to you. Everybody else has their own issues to deal with. They're busy. Their minds are so freaking busy, you can't imagine it. The person who needs to love you is you. The person who's going to take the time to care enough, to do enough that you heal is you. You are the one who's emotionally invested. You are the one who can change your life. You can do it. And now is as good a time as any. Because you've waited long enough. You've waited too damn long. And I'm sorry, I don't normally cuss as much as I do. And I'm putting this out into the world because I'm passionate about this, because I care. Because I've watched one too many people, one too many of my sisters and my brothers on this planet hurting. And I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of knowing why, and knowing that if they just looked in the mirror and believed what I believe, that their life would change for the better. I'm not here. I'm not going to make you rich. I don't know what job you're supposed to be in. I don't know how to solve all your problems. I don't. What I do know how is to fix your mind. Because I've done it. Because I have rewired my brain. My brain was so toxic. My brain was so in pain. I couldn't imagine living another day. I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't fathom the pain of looking myself in the mirror. The disgust I felt when I saw myself in the mirror. And the first time someone told me to look in that mirror and see love, I tried and I failed. I tried and I failed over and over again. But I kept trying. Because I knew it was the only way. I tried everything else. I tried everything. Nothing else worked. You are the answer to your prayers. Stop waiting on some magic fairy in the sky to solve your problems. Nobody's going to do it. You know, the scripture says the Lord helps those who help themselves. That's a fact. You can't sit at home depressed on the couch eating potato chips, crying and hating yourself, and think your life's going to get better if you say a prayer, because it's not. It's not going to happen. I been there, done that, didn't work. Sorry. Sit all you want, cry all you want. It's not going to happen. You can pray all night and all day long. And when it's going to change is when you change. And it's not a matter of changing who you are. It's a matter of changing your mind. It's a matter of, I'm going to say it over and over, admit you are worthy of love. Because you are. You were born worthy of it. And whatever you've done since then that wasn't perfect, I guarantee was out of pain. I guarantee was because of what the love you didn't get as a child. And nothing's going to fix it. Nothing's going to make you be a better person but you. So please, do your homework, look in the mirror, and say, I love you. Whatever your name is, look yourself in the eye and say, I love you. And if you don't believe it, say it again. And if you don't believe it, say it again and again and again until one day you start to feel it. You start to admit that maybe there's something in there that you could love. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I don't care what anyone else says to you, does to you, thinks about who you are, what you've done, how you look. Admit that you are good, that you are trying the best you can, and you're going to keep trying to do the best you can. And if you can do that in life, then you can do it in the mirror. That's all I'm asking today. I'm sure I'll have a lot more to say later, but this video is going to get too long. So I'm going to stop it there for now. I'm glad I got that off my chest. Please love yourself. You are worthy of love. Admit it. Thank you. I'm signing off. Sabrina from My Ascending Life. Thanks for joining me and have a good night. Bye.